Knicks Some Noise. It's your man, Why Me. Welcome back to another episode, and thank you very much for tuning in. All right, so we got a lot to discuss today. We gotta discuss the game versus the Raptors and why I think that this game was the most important and best game that we've played all season thus far. Definitely a statement game for Karl-Anthony Towns, aka the Towncar. Another statement game for Jalen Brunson, and an overall good game from the team and the supporting cast. So let's get right into it. The problem that we've been facing this season, is getting off the bad starts. As you can see, we come out the game turning the ball over. And it's understandable those things are going to happen because we're trying to build chemistry between Towns and Brunson. But we're also falling victim to early three-point shots and three-point makes. Scotty Barnes was able to get in a rhythm very early in the game. And we are always fighting back and climbing back. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges was able to team up for our first three-point shot of the game. But again, we played from behind. And this is what our problem is and what our problem is going to continue to be if we don't have and get off to good starts. The beauty of having Karl-Anthony Towns as your center is that he's able to make these types of plays from the high post. He's able to make one-hand passes while he's not looking. He's able to make passes in the post and ward off his defender just by being able to extend his arm. And so on these last two sequences, you can see how he was able to make a pass from basically above the three-point line. But RJ Barrett and his counterpart, and his teammate rather, Scotty Barnes, got off to a really good start and was able to get the team involved. As you can see here, the near turnover resulted in a three from Abaji, who's again open in the corner, and this is what we're trying to avoid. I like the Deuce and Cam Payne lineup when Miles McBride and Cameron Payne is on the floor together. Cameron Payne is a highly skilled offensive player, and he has enough confidence to call his own number. As you can see here, he's able to use the screen from Towns to get an easy three-point shot over the Grady man. So at this point, the Knicks are up by 10 because we're playing consistent basketball. We're rebounding. As you can see, Josh Hart pushing the tempo, and we're rebounding, and we're getting out in the open court, having a team like this who's not really great defensively on their heels. They're obviously not great defensively because they're like 7-15. And as you can see here, Josh Hart is able to get a tough pass, not a good pass, to Towns. Going ahead, we're in the second quarter now, middle of the second. OG Anunoby is able to make a good baseline pass to Cam Payne because Cam Payne is a player that continues to move without the basketball. One of the best players in the NBA of doing that. Josh Hart, one of the best players in the NBA of rebounding the basketball, assists, triple doubles. He's the top tier player in terms of hustle, able to give Mikal Bridges an easy shot. So this got Mikal in a rhythm. But again, Scotty Barnes and RJ were cooking. So Scotty, we didn't really know Scotty was that good of a three-point shooter. But as you can see, he's able to knock down not one, but 2 threes in a row on back-to-back plays. So at this point, the Knicks are trailing. That 10-point lead evaporated, and we're down 5. So in the middle of the third quarter, Jalen and Towns is able to work that pick and roll, and Jalen's able to find Josh for an easy layup. And then, again, we're playing physical basketball. The refs haven't been calling a lot, and, everybody's hugging and grabbing. So what I do want to bring mention to here is how Karl-Anthony Towns crept up above the foul line, because this is an important thing where he's usually playing defense below the foul line and our pick and roll defense suffers. Davion Mitchell got trapped by Mikal and Jalen in the corner, passes flung around, and what I'm saying is, with Karl-Anthony Towns generally playing defense below the foul line, that leaves the back door open for easy backdoor screen and dunk, leaving Josh Hart basically exposed. So Carl has to be able to step up on his man and, play the foul line a lot better and defend that part of the court a lot better. But again, that high screen and roll from Jalen and Carl is a masterful thing. Carl sprained his ankle. But again, this is the toughness that we're talking about. He's getting back up the court. He's able to get back up the court and get himself back into the next play. But that high screen and roll and those things like that are what we need as a team. So I actually want to go back to the high screen and roll and call that out, because Jalen has become very good at getting Carl the basketball above the 3-point line, and Carl has been very good at not settling for the three and taking the ball directly to the basket. So he gets Jakob Poeltl and Agbaji in that high screen and roll, and he's immediately able to take 1 or 2 steps to the basket, stepping on Davion's foot. But again, he's able to get back up the court and get back on defense. This is the toughness that we're talking about. End of the third quarter, the Knicks are down 3. This is the defense of Precious Achiuwa that I like, guarding the pick and roll, something that Towns doesn't do very well. He's not the one that moves his feet. So if we want to go back to that play really quickly, this is the last play in the third quarter. The Grady man sets up a post play for Kelly Olynyk, and as you can see, the entire paint is open. Kelly Olynyk, again, has a backdoor cut for whoever's there. Mikal Bridges is looking at the ball, but he's not looking at his man, in my opinion. So with those things, you have to, again, be able to see your man and see the ball. As you can see, Mikal Bridges is giving up the cut to Grady because his right foot is behind his left foot. He's not allowing Grady to get that basketball so he can come around the curl, but he is giving up a cut to Grady, and this is basically the results in play. But you can see the defense from Precious Achiuwa. He's not below the foul line. He has 1 foot right on the foul line and 1 foot over the foul line with a hand on Olynyk. So once Olynyk makes this backdoor pass, you can see Mikal's reaching, OG Anunoby is collapsing, but Achiuwa is ready to make that play and make that defensive play. As you can see, got up for the block shot and was able to make a stop for us, which created a 24-second violation. So going into the fourth quarter, we had some momentum, and as you can see, the first couple of plays, Towns was able to get an easy outlet pass off a miss to Deuce McBride, which should have been a foul. But this was a physical game, so I wasn't mad. But going forward, you can see where we're sagging. Our pick and roll defense has Karl Anthony Towns backing up on his heels. We were able to force a miss and get a rebound. And as you can see, Campaign, the mini Josh Hart, was able to get to the basket and push the tempo for an easy layup. Everybody that played scored. But on the next play, Campaign made a stupid foul and cost us a 3-point shot, but not a 4-point play because he missed the free throw. So coming back, what I like to see that Miles is facilitating, Mikal Bridges is getting his shoulders around, and he's actually looking good on a follow-through. He hit a lot of big shots in this game, specifically 3-pointers from the corner. Again, Jalen and Towns on that pick and roll, very dangerous. Towns is again able to get that pick and roll established, find Mikal Bridges from the opposite side of the court for another 3. And this is what I like. And off the inbound play with 42 seconds left, this is the play that defined Karl Anthony Towns' season so far. This play is the first one where Jalen was able to get him an easy dump off pass from just making that cut. And then obviously the final play where he was able to make a defensive play versus RJ Barrett on the other side of the basketball. He allowed RJ Barrett to make the contact first, knowing that RJ is not a great leaper. Karl Anthony Towns is allowing RJ to make the contact on him first, and then once he made the contact on Towns first, Towns made the block shot and was able to get us back up the court. So this is the play of plays for Towns this season. Anunoby, now operating as Jalen Brunson, was able to set up the play because, as you can see, Jalen's not on the court for whatever reason. This is not because he sprained his ankle. He just finished hitting that 4-point play. This was an offense-defense switch that Tibbs has been trying out, But since Towns got that defensive stop, we didn't need to call a timeout to advance the basketball or do anything like that. We were already up by 2, so we just needed at this point to play smart and not create an offensive foul. So OG Anunoby running the same high screen and roll with Towns, so he's Jalen Brunson in this instance. OG Anunoby is again able to get Towns the basketball. RJ Barrett sag, bad closeout, bang. So Towns was able to nail that 3, and you could see the reaction on Cam Payne's face. He loves it. The rookie loves it. Matt Ryan, who should be doing the same damn thing, loves it. Big Jalen, Big Rick Pauls loves it. And this is the statement game for Towns. Obviously, Jalen loves it from being on the bench. He's not having to do all these things. We got another closer. So much respect to Towns for doing what he did in this game, playing through an injury that probably could hamper him in some instances. This is the win. This is a statement win, especially on the road, that we need the energy from the fans and from the team to come back to MSG because we got a tough matchup versus TRAE YOUNG and the Atlanta Hawks today. So right now, what we're looking at is a celebratory Jalen Brunson, a 3-point shot going in from Towns, New York on there. So you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? He's letting everybody know what it is. We all happy and everybody's good for him. You know what I'm saying? And we just love the fact that, our team is continuously relevant. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, these things in terms of the trade, I feel like the trade is even in terms of player to player. Randall hit a game-winning shot for the Minnesota Timberwolves as well. So like these things are equaling out. And I think the only real difference is one, temperament, which I mean a lot of people could feel it however they want to feel about it, but on a basketball level, it's just height and a little bit better 3-point shooting. But I think that's also due to the height. You know what I'm saying? Being able to shoot over just pretty much anybody. So with that being said, this was to me a statement game and a statement win for the Knicks, a statement game for Karl Anthony Towns. If you go back and look at it, this is what should personify Karl, even preceding him. This is what the reputation should have been like. The guy is totally a skilled player, but what our questions was his toughness, his commitment, his mental fortitude, and all those things he's eradicated. He's shown, just based off these 20 some odd games that we've played this season so far, I got no issues with the Towncar. So much respect to number 32. You know what I'm saying? Much respect to number 30. And, the exchange to me is even. I think what Minnesota needs to do is figure it out on their end, coaching-wise, personnel-wise, and rotation-wise. I never felt like the problem on the Knicks was a Julius problem because we didn't have the Mikal Bridges. We barely had the OG Anunoby. Miles McBride wasn't shooting the way he was shooting. We didn't have a campaign coming off the bench. Jalen Brunson wasn't passing the ball the way he was passing the ball. I feel like the only consistent player was Josh Hart. And Josh was, running the floor, getting to the basket, doing what he was doing, but he was also new to our team. You know what I'm saying? So he was fitting in. So I don't think none of these issues was a Randall issue. You know what I'm saying? It's just basketball. It's the National Business Association. You know what I'm saying? The business of basketball always got these guys moving around. Somebody got to be the villain. Somebody got to be the hero. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it is. But a statement win for Towns nonetheless. New York, New effing York. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we leaving it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got the whole ass N-word thrown at them too. And that was even more crazy because there was somebody saying every time he was at the free throw line, there was somebody saying nasty, nasty. And so maybe it was that person because every time he was shooting a free throw on that end, that's what you heard. So whoever was screaming that, maybe you the hoe. So with that being said, we need to move on to the Atlanta Hawks game, and I'll be right back with you in just a moment. This is your man, Why Me. This is Knicks Some Noise. This is episode 10. This is New York. You got the Towncar. You see what it is. You got McBride right there hitting 3-point shots. You got OG locking down the defense. You need a tape in the back, bro. Mikal, you need to shape up, period. But we're not going to talk about that. and we're going to be right back. Knicks Some Noise. It's your man, Why Me. We back. So we got the Atlanta Hawks tonight in the in-season tournament. We trying to go to Vegas, B. All right? We favored it to win the game according to ESPN stats. And we need to get to Vegas. TRAE, TRAE is TRAE. He coming in, doing what he got to do. And as far as statistically, TRAE is averaging 20 points. But he's averaging 12 dimes. And so we got to contain TRAE as far as assist-wise. Protect that basket. Minimize the alley-oop plays. I think Achua will help that. He can help neutralize Capella. But Towns is going to have to bring Capella out to the three-point line. But then you got Jalen Johnson. Resache, the rookie that killed us. TRAE moves the ball around very well. And what we need to do is we're most likely going to have to go shot for shot with this team. If we could stomp them early and get into their shirts early and bring that momentum, that New York energy that we took to the Toronto Raptors and effectively bring it back to the Garden, I think we will have a good game and we'll be able to get to Vegas and close this team out. So the main thing has to be the main thing. The main thing has to be defense. The main thing has to be getting off to a good start. The main thing has to be guys flying around. I need Mikal Bridges to lock in, and also Josh Hart. I need them both to not start lackadaisically on the defensive end, and I can't have them letting their mans get early baskets. We've seen the history with the squad of us being able to get off to bad starts, not being able to get off to good starts and hot starts. I think the last hot start we got off to was in Denver, and that's a ways back. So we need to be able to get off to a good start against this team and just continue to keep that same energy that we had that helped us close out the game in Toronto. And I really think the defensive capability from Achua will help us in this game. So I'm predicting Achua to have 2 blocks and maybe a 3 and some good decent field goals. So I'm looking for Achua to have at least 2 blocks, 6 to 7 rebounds, and a big 10 points. So let's go, Presh, because the matchup is there for him to also space the floor. And depending on where, he may find himself on the court, he may find himself open with this team. They may allow him to shoot a 3. So you just got to go and knock it down. But other than that, same program. Towns, let's go. McBride, let's go. OG, let's go. Cam, let's go. Jalen, let's go. Josh, let's go. And Mikal, let's go. Jericho, if you get a chance to get some burn, let's go. But this may be a Huck Porty game too. Huck Porty versus Capella. 2 big men, but from the European system of basketball. Both can play the alley-oop game very well. Jalen might be able to get to it. So let's see what Tibbs decides with that matchup, because I think that's a good matchup. Although Huck is a young player, I think he could do something with Capella offensively. He's shown signs, and they kind of are similar, like as far as body type, but Capella obviously has the most experience. Let's see what happens. That's just throwing that out there. But I'm predicting a win. Obviously, we are the favorites, but again, we cannot come out slow. It just makes for bad basketball and like desperate basketball when we come out slow. And we in the Garden. And this is the in-season tournament. This is for Vegas. I think this for like $500K, right? Right, Josh? This for some bread. So I think what we need to do again is just take it back to the times where Say you got no money in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? And you got to play for money. You playing for your job. You playing to feed your kids. This kind of like the TBT, playing to feed your kids. So here's my thing. Josh rolled his ankle a little bit in Toronto, and so did Carl. So hopefully they're both able to play. They had them listed as day to day, but you know what I'm saying. Hopefully they're able to give a tough go at it. You know what I'm saying, and just make it shake for us. Jalen's coming in averaging 25, 49 from the field, 49% from the field, and 82% from the line. His free throw percentage dropped a little bit, missing all them damn free throws. But he was shooting 85 before he came into the game in Toronto. But TRAE is coming in averaging nearly 90% from the line. So we got to keep him out the paint. Them floaters where he going to sell out and throw his body, we can't allow that. You know what I'm saying? Towns is coming in averaging 13 boards, so he got to clean up the boards. Young Jalen Johnson is out there, bro. He's out there, so we can't sleep on him. Bogey is a game-time decision, and so is DeAndre Hunter. TRAE Young, they say he's a game-time decision, and so is JJ, but they'll play. You know what I'm saying? I just think that where we need to be offensively is in the driver's seat with this team, because they could shoot threes and fill it up at any given moment, go on a run. I don't like runs for our team, but you know they make us more determined, obviously, to win the game. Last game, you know what happened. They smoked us in Atlanta, and I just thought we had a bad defensive effort. It wasn't spirited enough. You know what I'm saying? And guys got to play together. And now this is for bread. That was a regular season game. This game is for bread. Got a few guys on the team with kids, newborns. Come get this money, man. You know what I'm saying? Do it for the babies. You know what I mean? Josh, Mitch, Jalen. Y'all got fresh babies, bro. You know what I'm saying? Much love to y'all families, man. Come get this bread. I feel you. So I feel like they got to focus going into the game. You know what I'm saying? We won 4 our last 5. They won 4 of their last 5. So we both coming in hot. They lost their last game, but we won our last game. But yeah, we both coming in hot. They lost to Denver. You know what I'm saying? They beat the Lakers. They beat Milwaukee, the Pelicans, and the Hornets. They beat the Lakers and they beat Milwaukee. They beat the Lakers in OT. And they beat Milwaukee by a nice size amount in Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? Our games were on the home court. Our 4 games, and we lost 1 game at home. You know what I'm saying? They lost 1 game at home. So we coming in pretty much even in terms of our wins and losses in the last 5. This to me is not what the tape shows. You know what I'm saying? As far as the matchup predictor. So what we need to do again, protect the 3-point line as best as we possibly can. And I really feel like the game that we played in Toronto was some of the most intense defense that we played all year, but we added Precious to that mix. So that added another defender on the court with Towns. And so somebody can help him out. But then when Towns is not on the court, then, you know, he's all alone. And so I do want to see Tibbs explore that 2 big man lineup. Precious Achiuwa is not a traditional big man. He could actually play some 3. Just not on the offensive end, but defensively, he could play some 3, some 2. And like I said, he has good feet work and good jumping ability. He's a young player. So I feel like we can win this game. The keys to the game is definitely going to be our defense, which we didn't play last game against this team. We didn't play any defense. So the keys to this game is going to be our defense. The keys to this game is going to be our 3-point shooting versus theirs. And we have to make our foul shots, our free throws. This team is a decent free throw shooting team. TRAE Young is a 90% free throw shooter, and he has a ball most times. And he's obviously an excellent 3-point shooter. So from a team perspective, you know what I'm saying, versus us, we control the narrative, but last game was abysmal, and we can't play like that. So from a team perspective, we just have to do better. You know what I'm saying? He's averaging 23 versus us. He's averaging 23 and 10. TRAE Young is. You know what I'm saying? He's averaging 23 and 10 versus our team. And we need to figure out a way to contain him. Jalen is averaging 21 and 4. So he's not really able to facilitate for some reason versus this team. And so we need to be able to get him some dimes. Whereas he's giving the ball up, we need to be able to help him get them dimes up. You know what I'm saying? And if we look at Towns' situation, this is interesting. Towns is averaging 34 versus the Hawks. So we need to exploit this matchup. 55% from 3-point versus the Hawks. I smell something. And like I said, it's got to be the keys to the game have to be our 3-point shooting versus theirs. And we have a 55 to nearly 60% 3-point shooter on our team. So let's go. You feel me? Let's go. So if you feel what I'm putting down, let me know. And as far as that, that's pretty much it for my keys to the game. It's your man, Why Me? This is Knicks Some Noise. This is episode number 10. This is the pregame matchup versus the Atlanta Hawks in season tournament. And this is for some bread for a trip to Vegas. I'm ready. There's 2 games on tonight. Ours and Golden State and Houston. Both on TNT. So, no Clyde tonight. Clyde got to take a step back because he was, man, Clyde, you was talking super crazy in Toronto. You might have to stay out there with Drake for me. Clean it up, Clyde. All right. But yeah, this is Knicks Some Noise, and this is your man, Why Me? We about to do damage to the Atlanta Hawks. Rap Phantoms, Basketball Phantoms is about to stalk. And rest in peace to Kembe Mutombo. This is Knicks Some Noise. This is your man, Why Me? Episode 10. Feel me? Let's go.